means, sir, metal, sir, but not actually pure form, sir.
Very good. Okay, very good. Mute yourself. Are you able to see my screen, Sushant?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So occurrence of metal, as is mentioned already, what is the meaning of ore means? Ore is, it is not the pure metal, that will have the some impurities along with that one. So that is only the ore which is available mainly in the earth crust. Earth crust in the means, so earth, if you dig in the deeper of the earth, so inside whatever the major portion of that one, the middle of the earth, that is the meaning of the earth crust. There this type of ores will be taken out and that will be purified. Which one? Ores will be purified. So these only the related to the metallurgy means. Metallurgy is one of the important separate stream in the chemistry. So like if you do engineering also, there chemical engineering, metallurgy is one of the portion. Okay. So for example, a famous personality, Google CEO Sundar Pichai, he has done the metallurgy only. In IIT, his graduation from the metallurgy. Later he switched into the other career, that is a secondary thing. That's how that will be separate, stream that is. Like in chemistry, inorganic chemistry, physical, organic, as long as you go to the higher studies, this type of stream specializations you can opt if you are interested really. So metals are really is a very common requirement for everyday life, right? Because whatever the building are constructing, the vessels, aluminum vessels which we are using, so everywhere it is a minimum requirement. So producing of the pure metals is one of the important topic in the chemistry. So that is related to chemistry only. We are studying about the metallurgy or this occurrence of metals and how we the purify. All these things we will discuss in this class. Now occurrence of metals means, so what, for example, the earth's crust is the major source of metal. So where is the major source of the metal? Earth crust only. Seawater also contains some soluble salts such as sodium chloride. Seawater also contains some salts. Which type of salts? Like sodium chloride, magnesium chloride, all these things. Not only from the earth crust. Why? Because the reason is that sea depth is very low, right? So that's how from the earth crust only these are also getting dissolved. That is the reason seawater is getting, seawater is salty, but river water is not salty because that is not that much depth into the earth crust. That's how sodium chloride dissolved into the seawater and that's how it is salty. So how you can extract it from the sodium chloride? So what is the main ore for the sodium? Vishnu, what is the main ore for the sodium? Can you tell? Vishnu.
Yes, sir.
What is the main ore for the sodium? So from where you can extract the sodium? What is the ore? So you know what is the meaning of ore, right? Now you tell me what is.
Sir.
Huh?
Sir, not getting, sir.
What I mean, sodium chloride is there, right? Sodium chloride is there.
Yes, sir.
And sodium is there. Sodium, metal, right?
Yes, sir.
So what I mean to is sodium chloride is the ore of sodium, can be considered it as ore. Can it be considered?
So I am confused, sir.
Okay, so let me explain here. Namrata, what do you think? Is sodium chloride is the ore of sodium?
Sir, I think yes, because sodium chloride is the compound of both sodium and chlorine.
Yes, very good. So that is the meaning of ore means. So this can be considered as a ore of sodium because sodium can be prepared from sodium chloride. This is not pure metal, right? We are talking about the pure metals. Sodium is not sodium in the sodium chloride. Sodium is not the pure one. Sodium chloride, that is another compound. If you do the sodium chloride, if you pass the electricity, are you able to see what I am writing, Namrata?
Yes, sir.
So if you pass the electricity to the sodium chloride, you will get the two types of compound, which is the sodium and the chlorine. So sodium pure you are getting from where? Sodium chloride. So where from sodium chloride you get? From the seawater. Seawater, from where it is seawater? It is coming from the earth crust only. So that is what the major component of the metals available in the earth crust only. So that's how the sodium chloride can be imagined as sodium. Like that, many ores are there. For example, CuFeS2. This is the copper ore. From this This is called the copper pyrite. Copper can be abstracted from this one. Along with the copper, iron is there, sulfur is there. These you have to remove, right? So how you can remove? By doing some chemical reactions or by doing some physical methods you can separate. And like, for example, potassium is there, magnesium is there, okay? Magnesium chloride. So this also can be, by doing the electrolysis, you can get the metals like magnesium. And for example, carbonates, zinc carbonate is there. So from this zinc carbonate ore, you can get the zinc metal. This is how these are called the ore. And this usually whenever you are taking out from the earth crust, these will have some other impurities like sand, clay, okay? Along with this one, this will combine. So that is the reason what we call this one is a gangue. What we call this is gangue. This is very, very important point. You should remember. What is gangue? Along with the ore, some impurities are present, which is need to be removed before the purification process. That is called the gangue. Gangue means what here? Along with the zinc carbonate, for example, sand is there, clay is there. These are called the gangue. Is it clear now, Vishnu? What is the
Yes,
ore
sir.
means? Okay, the elements are compounds which occur naturally in the earth crust are known as minerals. So what is the meaning of minerals? Means the elements are compounds. Okay, elements are compounds. The difference between what is the elements and compounds? What is the difference between elements and compounds, Sushant?
Sir, elements contain single type of atoms, sir, but compounds contain more than single type of atoms.
Yes, yes. So for example, sodium is there. This is element. If more than two elements, if anything is forming, for example, sodium chloride, this is the compound. So elements are compounds which occur naturally in the earth's crust are known as minerals. So this is what the mineral. So wherever you are taking out the minerals from the earth crust, those are called, the process where it is done is called that area is called the mining. Okay, mines we call it, right? So Ballari area, if you go there, iron is majorly available. If you go to the kolar fields, there now it is stopped, but earlier gold was doing the processing, gold was purifying there. So this is what the, but gold was not as such available, but it is combined with some impurities. So to remove that impurities, what are the steps? That is only we will, so in detail you don't study, the basic concept you study in this class. So whenever you go to the higher classes, there when you go to the 12th, there you study in detail of the how the steps are involved. So this is the meaning of that one. Now, at some places minerals contains a very high percentage. So for example, if I talk about the CuFeS2, okay, another ore also there, for example, Cu2O. So 2O percentage of copper is more available. Okay, so from that area only can be abstracted. Then only profitably you can remove the copper from that one. So then only that will be useful, right? For example, here in CuFeS2, it is 70% of copper, but Cu2O, the percentage of copper along with the impurities, for example, it is 20% only copper. So which one is the profitable? This one only profitable. So the where the copper percentage is more in the ore, so there only mining can be done. Then only that will be useful. So why it is stopped in the now kolar? The reason is that now the percentage of gold is decreased. It is not profitable to do the mining there. So that is the reason it is stopped there. So different type of metals are having different type of nature, right? This we have studied in the previous classes, like higher reactive elements and medium reactive elements and lesser reactive elements. So what are the higher reactive elements? Potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, aluminum. These are called the higher reactive elements. These metals can be purified by electrolysis process. By how you can prepare this one? By electrolysis process. Like we have seen, for example, sodium chloride is there. Sodium chloride, how you can get sodium? By passing the current, right? Then only you can get the sodium and chlorine. The same way for the aluminum. So aluminum ore, for example, Al2O3 is there. Okay, by passing the current, you can get the aluminum and oxygen, this type of compounds. By passing the current. So that is the meaning of electrolysis. By sending the current, you can get the pure metals. So which one? Higher reactive elements. So in other methods, you cannot get that one. So next one is reduction using carbon. So these can be done by medium reactant. So medium reacted one can be do by reduction. So what is these ores are usually available as a oxide source majorly. So oxygen percentage is more in the earth crust, that is around 48% present in the earth crust. So for example alumina is available. So major three you can see are sodium sulfate is there. Here 4 oxygens are there. But in environment, oxygen percentage is around 20%. But whereas in the earth crust, around 48%. You can imagine half of the percentage is oxygen only. So that's how major it is available as a oxide ore. And for example, zinc is there. Let's take it as an example of zinc. So zinc oxygen is there. So what is the meaning of by reduction? If you can remove the oxygen, so that is only the process, right? So by using the carbon, you can reduce this one. Which one? Oxygen can remove by carbon, because carbon can more reactive than the zinc. That's how carbon can make the good combination with the oxygen. That's how zinc metal you can get. So this oxide source, if you are getting in any other form, we will convert it to the oxide forms. So for example, zinc oxide, if you are having the ore like zinc carbonate, so that also you can get the zinc oxide. How you can do that one? For example, zinc oxide, zinc carbonate is there, zinc carbonate. So if you heat this one, what are the products here? Who will tell? Jobia, can you tell what are the products will be formed if you heat?
Sir, carbon dioxide.
Very good. And
Zinc oxides.
very good, zinc oxide. So this is how you can get, if it is in another form also, you can converting into the oxide form, then easily you can do reaction with the carbon, then you can get the pure zinc metal and carbon monoxide. So this is what this is another example for the Premanand. This is example for another type of reactions also, which we have studied in the first chapter. So what type of reactions these are? This you have studied in the first chapter and second chapter, even acids and bases also. Premanand, can you unmute yourself? Then answer me. Vishal, can you tell which type of reaction it is? Vishal, do you know or not? Just unmute yourself, then answer me. Shreya, can you tell?
Decomposition reactions, sir.
Very good. This is the thermal decomposition reactions. This is nothing but thermal decomposition reaction. And here in this chapter, we study one of the important one, that is calcination. What we call calcination. What is calcination means? Conversion of the carbonate ores into the oxide ore with limited supply of air. Okay, these points you have to take into the class notes. So which is everything given in textbook. In this presentation as a class notes, important points I have given. So that points also you have to mention, because in every time in examination they ask, what is the calcination or roasting with the balanced chemical reaction? So what is the calcination means? Whenever you are converting the carbonate ores into the oxide ore by the supplying of limited air, that is called the calcination process, where you are converting into the oxide ores. Where we do this process in purification of mid reactive. So this is the meaning of calcination. Then we see next roasting also I will explain, since we are talking from here, roasting. Santosh, what is the meaning of roasting? Santosh. In general, Santosh, what is the mean by roasting?
Sir, it is a term related to cooking.
Yes, very good. Cooking, which is, tell me. Very good.
Burning any food product or any other thing.
Where it is burned? In the open place, right?
Yes,
Open.
sir.
Yes, so in open place, in the grills type of is there. Okay, there some chicken pieces can be keep here, that will be roasted. So that is the meaning of roasting in open air. So what is the roasting means? Conversion of the sulfide ores. Conversion of, for example, zinc sulfide is there. Okay, conversion of sulfide ores into the zinc oxide or metal oxide. Conversion of the sulfide ores into the metal oxide in presence of excess air. This one is important, in presence of excess air. Excess air contains oxygen. So that is the reason this reaction ZnS plus O2 gives rise ZnO plus SO2. So this process is called the roasting. So what is calcination? Calcination is conversion of the carbonate ores into the oxide ores, oxide compounds. But this one is conversion of sulfide ore into the oxide, that respective metal oxide, that is called the roasting. Carbonate are the calcination, but oxygen will not be there in there. In which? Calcination. Because limited supply air only we are giving, or absence of air also you can call. But here absence of air means any vessels, closed vessels where oxygen is not there. In that containers that do. But this one in open vessels also this can be done. This is roasting. At higher temperatures what we do, we cook with the oxygen. Now Vishnu, can you tell which type of reaction it is from the first chapter?
Sir, double displacement reaction, sir.
Vishnu, you are not studying, Vishnu. It is clear. So for 9th you are very sharp, but 10th your progress is decreasing. I can understand. So you are not studying simply. That much only I can tell. Where it is double displacement, two ions are displacing here. Okay, Sushant, can you tell which type of this one is?
Displacement, sir.
Displacement, and more important, another type of where we can oxidation, redox reaction it is. This is redox reactions here. Simple thing. It's a more important for the oxidation. Oxygen, wherever you are doing reactions with the oxidation should click in your mind. Is it okay, Vishnu?
Yes, sir.
This is redox reaction because you are doing the reaction with the oxygen. Not only redox reaction, so there you have studied. Once again, you are studying metals and non-metals. So that's how you have to interrelate the concepts and you have to study. So what is this process, Vishnu? Just now we have seen which process, whether it is the calcination or roasting.
Sir, roasting.
Very good, roasting. Okay, that's how you are getting the oxides in the both case. Whether it is the calcination, zinc carbonate, you are getting zinc oxide plus CO2, or one more thing, what? Zinc sulfide, if you are doing the reaction with the oxygen, zinc oxide and sulfur dioxide. So this is the roasting in presence of excess air. Here oxygen is not there. So you should not get confused, and this is very, very important topic, calcination and roasting. Okay, so this is all about the middle reactivity series like zinc, okay, iron sulfide, lead sulfide, all these things will be available. For example, lead sulfide is there. The same way you can react with the oxygen, in the excess roasting can be done, and how you can do this one, PbO plus SO2. This is how. Then this further can reduce it with the carbon. Plus carbon, if you add, you get the lead plus carbon monoxide. That's how. Next one is, okay, this also you consider, copper also you consider it as a less reactive. Okay, in textbook it is not given clearly. So these three are considered as a less reactive. Even mercury also comes. Mercury, copper, mercury, okay, silver, gold, all these are the less reactive, very less reactive, and these can be found in native state. For example, gold can be found in native state. So native state in the sense, this is not like AU only. It is not like, for example, sodium ore we have seen in NaCl. If copper ore we are seeing with other element that is compound is forming, but gold can exist its own state. Silver and coppers can exist as a sulfide ore. So like for example, AgS, Ag2S plus Ag2S or Cu2S copper ores. Okay, again this will be do the roasting, can be converted into the oxides. Then that oxides, for example, mercury is there. Okay, all these examples I have given in PPT that you would have written once again. For example, silver is there. No, sorry, mercury ore is there, HgS. If you do the reaction with the oxygen, you will get the products HgO plus SO2. Okay, later you balance this one. So balanced reactions you have to practice. Now this HgO is there. From this HgO, how you can get this Hg? Shriya Tavarkade is there. Shriya Tavarkade, can you unmute yourself? Namrata, Shriya Tavarkade is there or not? Namrata?
No, sir, she is not there.
She's not attending the classes. Okay, I will see. HgO. And now, can you tell Namrata how we can make it as a Hg now?
Sir, repeat once again.
So what I am saying, this I am talking about the lower reactive series like copper, Hg, Ag and Au. Okay. So this sulfide, it is available as a sulfide ore. Now I have done the roasting with the excess oxygen, right? So I got the HgO and SO2. But I want Hg metal, mercury metal, right? So what I have to do now to this HgO, by doing what? I can get this one, Hg.
So we can add carbon dioxide.
Carbon dioxide.
So I mean, when we add carbon, then carbon dioxide will form and
Okay. Okay. So in the case of all of you try to understand, in the case of zinc oxide, here zinc plus carbon monoxide. Okay. So this is the reaction where you are using the carbon to reduce this one. But whereas since these are the low reactive, it can exist as their own state. You no need to put the carbon here. Why you want to waste the carbon? If you just simply heat also, you can get the Hg plus O2. So that is the difference between a medium reactive and less reactive. Okay, you no need to do the reduction with the carbon. So that is the reason here, reduction using carbon, but formation on native state. So what I found in the native state, that's anyhow, if it is oxide is there, if you heat this also, you can get Hg plus O2 by simply heat. This is for the low reactive series. Is it okay, Namrata? Difference did you identify? So that is the difference between that and this now. Okay, so this is the table which is given in your textbook flow chart. Just try to understand this one. Okay, all the points we have discussed, once again we will go through this one. So concentration of ore. So what is this meaning of concentration of ore? So this, for example, sand along with the ore is there. For example, some copper ore is there, Cu2s. So this sand can be removed. Let's imagine doing some chemical reaction, only Cu2s only reacting, and this is not getting reaction. So what we will do, this can be separated. Major component, 100% we cannot separate. So maximum increasing of concentration of ore means that one. Initially that is the 50% by doing some physical methods also. For example, sand is not water soluble. Let's imagine whatever the other ore is water soluble. What you can do, that you can soluble in the water, that can be separated by doing some filtrations, right? So that's how you can increase the concentration of that particular ore. Now, next one we have seen at high reactivity, metals in the medium reactivity, metals of low reactivity. So high reactivity metals are like potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, aluminum. All these are considered as a high reactivity. Metals of medium reactivity like zinc, iron, lead. Okay, these type of are considered as a medium reactive metals. So metals of low reactivity, which one we have seen? Ag, Au, Hg, copper. Okay, so if it is higher, so we have seen that one, by doing the electrolysis you can get the pure metal. For example, sodium chloride is there. So how that one? Sodium chloride gives the two types of ions, sodium plus, Cl minus. So you know that in electrolysis, if you do the molten state of sodium chloride, which we have discussed already, sodium, one is the cathode, one is the anode, for example. So negative one is the cathode, positive one is the anode. Okay, this we have studied already. So here to the anode, which one go? Cl minus go. Which cathode, which one go? Na plus ions go. Okay, inside it is the NaCl solution only. Now what happens, since this is negative terminal, electrons will come here and Na plus will takes the electrons and that will convert into the sodium metal. So this is what the higher reactivity elements can be processed. And Cl minus to the Cl minus, what happens? That loses the electron. Okay, 2 Cl minus you take, because Cl is the, chlorine is the diatomic element it is. So Cl2 plus 2 electrons will taken out. So this is the meaning of that one, by doing the higher ones. Now the next one is metals of medium reactivity. So what are this medium reactivity? We have seen already zinc, iron, lead, all these are the medium reactivity elements. These are available two types, major, carbonate ore and sulfide ore. So carbonate ores are like, for example, zinc. Let's take example of zinc. Zinc can available as a zinc carbonate in the earth crust. and sulfide ore can available as a zinc sulfide. Okay, so zinc carbonate. So by which process we can do this, Sushant? By which process we can make it as a oxide?
Calcination, sir.
Calcination. So it is calcination process in which you get the zinc oxide. So first, simply you write the carbon dioxide. Wherever you see the carbonate, blindly, by close your eyes, you can write the carbon dioxide. So what is left? If you remove the CO2 from here, so only one oxygen is left. So that's how zinc oxide. Next, sulfide ore is, for example, zinc sulfide is there. So this already I have discussed with you. Still, it is the important topic. That's how I am just recollecting. ZnS plus O2. So which is this process? Premanand, can you unmute yourself and tell? Ganesh, can you tell which process it is?
Roasting, sir.
Roasting. Okay, excess of air. Here no oxygen is there. So that is the main difference. If oxygen is absent, that is the process of calcination. If excess air in the open air, if you are doing any reactions to converting into zinc oxide, that is called the, what we call it as a roasting process. So it is very, very important for the examination point of view. Next, so oxides of metal we got, which one is the zinc oxide? Then reduction to metal. So reduction to metal means zinc oxide. When you react with the carbon, what you get here? Zn plus carbon. Zinc plus carbon monoxide you get here. Purification of metal. So whatever after you getting the zinc also, that will not have the 90, more than 90%. 95% are like that. So that cannot be used for the commercial purpose. Then for that one, electrolytic refining process is used. Electrolytic refining. So what is this process that I will explain you in detail in the one of the video. So this is what about the medial reactivity. So what is next one? The less reactivity. So less reactivity we have seen that, for example, copper ore is there. Copper ore can available as a sulfide ore, Ag2S. Okay, so this type of ores can be available. Now what we have to do? We have to do the roasting. So what is the roasting? Once again, that reacts with the oxygen, that gives the copper oxide plus sulfur dioxide gases. Then that will be reduced to the metal further. Okay, here since it is a low reactivity, copper oxide Cu2O, it is available as a, means you get the Cu2O. So this Cu2O can be reacted. Earlier case we have reduced it with the carbon, but carbon cannot reduce this one. So what we have to take? Cu2S as a reducing agent takes. So it is the some different type of reaction. These are very rare, this type of reaction. So which you have to remember and very important for the examination purpose. So this cuprous oxide, what happens when reacts with this U2S, that gives the copper plus sulfur dioxide. So copper metal, that's how you can get. So again, refining. So this will not have the 100%. This you have to do the electrolytic refining. By that you get the copper pure metal after doing the electrolytic refining. So I will show you the video by step. By that you will have the clear-cut idea. Okay. Let me play this video. So these are the steps, each and everything I have explained. If you are having any doubt, you can ask me. This roasting and calcination, so many times I have explained, till now. You should not confuse in the examination. This is why it is taking time. Okay, wait, it is loading. What I will do, I will close this one once again, I will open here. Okay, Ganesh, can you unmute yourself? Meanwhile, I ask you some questions. So if iron oxide is there, iron oxide, so by which method you can purify that one? Iron oxide is there. By which method you feel that iron can be obtained?
Roasting, sir.
Already roasting, where it is used to convert to the oxide ores, right? I am asking about the iron oxide already. It is not open here. Okay, let's see this video. Then I will ask the same question. Okay, so why metals are important? That we have seen, that we have discussed. So in everyday life it is important. For example, copper is there. So in the wires it is minimum requirement. Without electricity we cannot survive, right? So in the wires copper is used. So we will see in this video how that copper can be processed, pure copper can be obtained. So different steps will be there. All the steps we will see in step by step. So extraction of copper. Are you able to see this, Sushant?
Yes, sir.
So this is the periodic table in which all these are the metals. All these are the metals. Copper is the atomic number is 29. And non-metals are these one. Basically, these are considered as a non-metals. The extreme end of the periodic table are considered as a non-metal. So all these rest are considered as a metals, maximum. Okay. And what are this one? What are these considered? Shreya, can you tell what are these ones? These are the metals, right? All these are the metals. These are the non-metals. What are these ones, Shreya? Shreya Chekamat.
Don't know, sir.
Zobia, can you tell what are these?
Sir, metalloids.
Metalloids. These are considered as a metalloids. Okay. So whatever the falling between the metals and non-metals are called the metalloids. So we have discussed in the previous classes how the metals and non-metals gets react. So extreme left side are called the metals and these are the non-metals. We have seen sodium, for example. Sodium is the first here. Okay. Here. Which one? This one is the sodium that reacts with the whom? Chlorine. That's all. For example, magnesium is here. That magnesium reacts with the oxygen. That's how metals and non-metals gets react. And this is the copper metal. We will see step by step how that can be extracted. We will have some idea about the what is the atomic number and the atomic mass of copper. We know that copper is the 29th atomic number. If you don't remember, you should learn minimum 30, 1 to 30 elements you should remember. And the atomic mass is 63.54. Atomic number is 29 and atomic mass is 63.54. And the valency, it shows two valencies, copper 1 and 2. Okay. So we know oxygen valency is 2. Basically, we studied oxygen valency is 2, -2. But copper exists as a CuO also, Cu2O also. Okay. Here the valency is 2 here, copper. But here the valence is 1. So that is the meaning of that one. So sometimes you see Cu2O, sometimes you see CuO. Okay, in the first chapter you have CuO, but in this metals and non-metals, you majorly you see Cu2O. You don't get confused. So in both it is possible. Valency 1 and 2. So that's what about this some little bit introduction of the copper element. Now we will see step by step how we can get this one. Occurrence, where it is occurred. First, where it is found. That is, name is called the one of the island, that is Cyprus. Where it is Cyprus island. Okay, in that island it is found. As a war it is found. What Romans used to call this one is cuprum. Okay, Romans, they in ancient time Romans are used this one as a metal for the vessels sort of things. They used to call this one as a cuprum. Wherever the copper is there. Okay, this exists as a pure copper also somewhere, and it exists as a with some other elements, like as I said, CuFeS2, like that. Okay, so in the world, it is available in the USA, majorly in Michigan, the state, Michigan state, it is available. In India also it is available. Okay, in India where it's majorly, in worldwide majorly where it is available, that's what we are discussing. In Bihar it is available majorly. In Rajasthan, in our country, Rajasthan, and in Tamil Nadu. This copper ore is majorly available. So wherever it is majorly available, what we do? We do the mining there. So you cannot do the mining in the Andhra Pradesh, for example, because that is not majorly available. So we have seen where it is available, these copper ores in the earth crust, in the middle of the earth, if you dig. So it is available as a CuFeS2, different type of, and ruby copper, which is Cu2O and Cu2S. So different type of names it is exist. The name of this one is copper pyrite, CuFeS2, cuprite, ruby copper, and copper glance. Cu2S is called the copper glance. So different type of ores are available for copper, and this one is the major one. So whatever the mining is done from this ore only, CuFeS2. So from that one, how we can extract the copper metal, that only we will see now. Okay, so 76% of that copper is available from this one only, CuFeS2. So then only it will be profitable. For example, if you do the mining from Cu2S, there is no use, because along with some other impurities also will be there that cannot be profitably extracted. So what is the extraction of copper? From taking the earth crust as a stones, that will be available first, right? So that will be taken into the industries where this type of metallurgy process can be done. It's taking to the industry now. Now what we have to do? We have to concentrate. Okay, crushing and concentration. We have to increase the percentage of that ore along with the some impurities, other impurities which are the gangue, like sand, clay. All these are called it as a gangue, GANGU. Okay, that gangue. So to remove this gangue, we have to do the concentration process. So you can see this type of conveyor belts that is taking this type of techniques are used, and in the crushing machines, that those are taking into that one. So that stones are now crushing into the powders. Okay, some small particles that is taking. Now we have to increase the percentage of that ore, concentration of that ore along with the some other impurities. That percentage we have to increase. For example, 50% of that is there along with the some other impurities, that we have to make at least 70 to 80%. So how we can do that one of the process, froth flotation. You don't worry about that froth flotation that you study in the higher classes. Just you see, and you can just ignore later. You no need to remember all these things. Froth flotation, wherever it is the important, that process I tell you. So what is the froth flotation means? There water and oil mixtures will be there. So in this container you can see there water and oil mixture is there. So what they do, wherever the sulfide ores are there, CuFeS2 or zinc S, for example, or CuS2. So this type of different ores, wherever the sulfide is there, that is having the some of the physical property that will stick to the oil. Okay, pine oils are there. So to that oils that will be stick. For example, our ore is there, CuFeS2 plus sand is there. So what is the formula of sand? Basically silica, SiO2. If this both mixture is there, and water and oil mixture is there, here oil is there, here water is there, that will be mixed properly. Now what happens, this whatever this ore is there, sulfide ore is there, that will stick to the oil and that will float as a foam. Okay, as like soap, you put lot of soap into the water, if you shake, foam will be formed in the upper layer. The same way this ore will be formed to the stick to the oil, that will be foam, upper layer it is a foam. Then that will be collected and that will be processed. So major component will be removed. So this is the process of the concentration. You are removing silica, right? Because silica is not sticking to the oil. What you have to do, you have to do this froth flotation process. Flotation means that foam is forming. So you can see sand, clay sort of thing is coming down. But here upper layer yellow floating is coming. So that is only, so unnecessary impurities are removed from bottom. And copper, now it is more concentrated copper it is now. CuFeS2 is the concentration is increased now. So what is the next step? The next step is now roasting. So this is important for you to remember, roasting. So these points you can take it out. So this is taking into this type of settings. This will be taken into the now some container. Okay, these are called the blast furnaces. So where lot of temperature is used. So try to understand here basically what is happening. From the upside they are pouring into this type of container where lot of temperature, and we require oxygen, right, for the roasting purpose. So oxygen also will be air. Okay, air only pumping from here. A lot of temperature is coming. As it is a liquid, it is coming. So since lot of temperature, okay, as a heat it is coming, that will expose it to this heat. Which one? This whatever the liquid shape it is having, which is the concentrated ore of copper. that will converting into the solid one. Okay, a light solid one, and along with that one some impurities also will be there, like phosphorus impurity is there. So that will converting into the oxidized to the P2O5, as oxygen we are pumping, right? Then sulfur is there, so that will convert, react with the oxygen, sulfur dioxide will form. Arsenic is there, that reacts with the oxygen, AS2O3. So this type of impurities will be removed out. That's how you can more increase the concentration of that particular copper. Sushant, are you able to see what I am showing here?
Yes, sir.
So you can see here clearly. So this, whatever the ore is there, that is having impurities like phosphorus, sulfur, okay, arsenic, all these are reacting with the oxygen and going it as a sulfur dioxide. This is the exhaust. From here it is exhausting. Phosphorus is there, for example, that is converting into the P2O5. For example, arsenic is there, that will converting into the AS2O3, oxidize. Those reactions are getting the impurities. Now that is, copper is collecting from the downside, you can see here. Okay, so whatever it is, remove the moisture also, water is also removed. Here it is, water is there, that's why it is the liquid. But since higher temperatures you are reacting with the oxygen, what is happening? That is taking out, and that's how it is forming. Now that will be collected, which one? Copper pyrite will be collected. So this reaction is important, which is oxidation is taking place, and we are getting from the sulfide ore is we are getting. Okay, since you are getting the sulfide ore, you know that one. Next Cu2S can be oxidized to get the copper oxide. So from here you can get the copper. Since this CuFeS2 we have reacted with the oxygen, right? Excess oxygen. There these reactions are taking place. You got this U2S and FeS and sulfur dioxide. These many products are formed. So sulfur dioxide as exhaust it has gone. Now Cu2S FeS mixture is there. So both you are having. So from here you have to remove the FeS because we required copper, right? We don't want iron. So that is the reason that will be taken out. Cu2S, FeS, SO2. So the next step is smelting. Smelting, the meaning of smelting means liquid. You making the, whenever if you make the things melted, so that is called the smelting. So if you do the liquefy, that is the, so what happens basically in the process of smelting, let us check. Okay, these type of blast furnaces are there. Again, as like in the previous case we have seen, there in the, we will take here and we will make it melt. In liquid form, you have to do the some reactions here. Okay, under this some heating, you have to do the some reactions. So what is for that reaction? You require coke and sand. Okay, coke means carbon, which is used for the usually reduction purpose, and sand means SiO2. Okay, now you are having two, right? Cu2S you are having, FeS you are having. So in if you so you have to make it as a liquid forms in the higher temperatures, and you have to react with the SiO2. So what happens? FeS will react with the SiO2. Okay, but the Cu2S will not react. So this will react and this will separate it as a some other impurities. So as a precipitated out, this will come out. That's how you can remove the FeS from the Cu2S. So this is the silica will react at the higher temperature. That is called the slag. You don't worry about that one. What is the slag? But gangue you should know. Gangue is asked in the examination. So that is taking into the this type of containers, which one, coke and carbon, everything is together taken into the along with the our ore, which is having Cu2S and FeS. Okay, in these blasting furnaces they are taking along with the whom? Cu2S and FeS mixture. It is coke, carbon, Cu2S and FeS. It is inside the burner. Okay, higher temperatures, whenever we have to use this type of inside steel plates will be there to protect that heat surroundings. So bricks that along with the bricks that will be protected. So now what happens? Now fumes, hot fumes need to be sent into the that container. That is called the blast furnace. That is okay. So this is hot water they are pumping into the type of fans. From that one, by using step by step, fumes will be continuously, okay, from here, from the bottom, hot fumes will be sent. So in the liquid state, that will react with the hot fumes. So some other left impurities from the previous cases that also will be get reacted. Now you have to burn this one at higher temperatures. Now here we have taken these balls, you can see here. This is copper. Okay. This is copper, CuS2, Fe, FeS, and what else is there? Silica, carbon, everything is there. So you are giving the lot of temperature. So some other volatile impurities are there. What happens since you are sending the hot fumes along with that one, that will go upside. Okay, here you can see hot fumes are coming here. That's how it is, the meaning of that one. Now what happens? Some other impurity, sulfur is there. Okay, along with that fumes that will go. And this is the reaction I was talking about. For example, FeS is there, iron sulfide, that reacts with the oxygen. Even copper also gets reacts. Cu2S reacts with the oxygen, that will converting into the Cu2. The same way, FeS reacts with the FeO to the FeO. Okay, roasting at higher temperature and air we are using. Okay, so everything we are using, right? So FeO we get. So this FeO will react with the SiO2. So fusible slag. Okay, this is impurity, FeSiO3. We don't want iron or Si, we don't want, right? So that we have to remove because our interest is copper. So that is the reason what happens. This slag will be removed from here. So we have made it melt. We made it a melt. That's how impurities will be removed. And here you can see clearly two types of impurities are forming. Okay, in the bottom two types of layer. One is slag and another one is the major component of Cu2S. So whatever the black one, that is the unnecessary thing, which is the slag, sorry. So which you have seen now, FeSi. So this is the slag called, which is the unnecessary thing, mud sort of thing you can see. Now our interest is this one, mate, which is Cu2S. And this is mixture of now Cu2S and Cu2O both, it will be there. Because oxygen is getting reacted, no, completely it will not get reacted with the Cu2O. So Cu2S also it is there. Now Bessemerization. So you don't worry about this Bessemerization also, but you just try to take the idea what is the meaning of that one. Bessemerization. In this type of containers, the mixture of Cu2S and Cu2O will be taken. This type of tires. Whatever we have collected from the earlier process, that will be taken into these containers. In horizontal mode, you have to take, by that more surface area will be there. So whenever you are sending some heat, air, something, this more surface will get exposed to that one, and volatile impurities will be removed from that one, hot air and fine sand. So in this case, what happens? One reaction will take place. What is that reaction? That so still impurities are there, that is converting into the again as H2O3, SO2, all these things are taking place. We have seen already FeS is reacting with the oxygen, gives rise to FeO plus SO2. Then further that is reacting with the SiO2, we are getting the FeSiO3. But what happens basically in Bessemerization, this is the process of Cu2S. When reacting with the oxygen, you are getting the Cu2O, right? Copper oxide and sulfur dioxide. So this copper oxide, what you have to do, you have to make, you require copper, right? You don't want Cu2O, you require copper. So to get the copper, what we do, so this reaction you make it down. Okay, anyhow that is given in our PPT. This is very, very important reaction. Which one? Cu2O, many times it is asked in the examination. To make it copper, what we required? Cu2S. So earlier case, in the case of HgO, what we have done, just simply we have heated to get the Hg plus O2. That is the property of different metals will show behave different time. For example, in the case of zinc, Zn oxide, you required carbon to make it as a zinc plus carbon monoxide. You required zinc there. So the same way, to make it this copper oxide to the copper, what you required? To make it copper, you required Cu2S. Along with that only you have to react to get the pure copper, and whatever the sulfur dioxide will form, that will become volatile and that will go off. So this is what about the, now we got copper. Okay, two reactions we have seen with this Cu2S. This is called the blister copper. It is not the pure one. After doing all these many methods also, it is not pure copper, it is only more than 90% only. But for the commercial purpose to sell this type of metals, what we required at least more than 99.9%. To make it that one, what we do, we have to do electrolytic refining process. So which is given in your presentation and in your textbook also it is given. Try to understand what is this electrolytic refining means. So we have to take 2 coppers as a electrodes and copper sulfate as a solution. So what is this electrolytic refining? The process which is used to get the more purified material. To get the more pure material, we do this electrolytic refining. So this is just now we got from this process. Which one? Impure metal, impure copper. From where you have taken, after the besmerization process, you got copper, right? That is more than 90%. So some other impurities also still like SiO2, okay, or Al2O3, or some any sort of impurities will be there. So what you have to do now, you have to get more than 99%. So for that reason, you have to take pure copper as a cathode. Pure copper, what you have to take? You have to take it as a cathode. What is the sign of cathode? Sushant, what is the sign of cathode? Is it negative or positive?
Negative.
So copper is, cathode is negative and anode is positive. And this is the copper sulfate solution will be taken here. Okay. So everywhere copper only. This is also copper. The pure one also copper. Okay. Impure one also copper. And the solution also copper. So from here, how you can get pure one? This will be, current will be passed here. So what will be passed here? Current will be, battery will be connected here. Okay. So this is what I talk positive, right? This is positive, that means anode, and this is the negative, which is the cathode. Negative is the cathode, positive one is the anode. Now what happens? This is connected to the positive terminal. This is connected to the negative terminal. So anode, this is one. So electrons will go from here. Since it is connected with the positive, electrons will go from here. From where? Impurity copper. Impure copper. Copper will give the electrons. If copper is giving the electron, if copper is there, if that is the losing the 2 electrons, what the product will be formed here, Jobia?
Sir, it will be positives.
What is that one? Cu, 2 electrons are losing. Cu2 plus will come. So that is the ion that will dissolve into the what? This solution. So this will come into this ion. Okay, Cu2 plus into the solution. Already in the solution, Cu2 plus ions are there, sulfate ions are there. If just imagine if one Cu2 plus is there, so the surrounding of whatever the Cu2 plus ion already in the solution, if one is coming here, so one is go here. To where? To the cathode. Because cathode is negative, right? So that will go here, Cu2 plus. Now what happens, this Cu2 plus? So since this is losing the electrons, electrons are in a circuit. These are in the circuit. So what happens? Electrons are coming here. So these electrons will taken by whom? This Cu2 plus. So pure Cu2 plus coming here. From this impure one, here it is having some other impurity of SiO2, okay, or B2O3, any such type of impurities are there. Only who is coming into the solution? Cu2 plus. So that Cu2 plus only going. So what happens? Since Cu2 plus will take the 2 electrons once again, that will again convert to the Cu, which is the pure one, more than 99%. So already pure one we are having, on that above of that one, that will be coated as a metal. I hope it is clear now. So clearly I have explained. Still if you are having doubt, you can ask me, because this is also one of the important topic it is. Now we will see what is basically happening here. So anode you have to take it as a impure one, and cathode you have to take it as a pure one, pure copper. Solution is the copper sulfate solution, and sulfuric acid also we have to take for the conduction purpose, to make it as a more conduction purpose. And Cu ions are coming. These are the ions basically, and going to the where? Cathode, and that will deposit it here. So this is battery is connected to the anode, and here another word is coming, anode mud. So that also you should know. What is that one? Anode mud. So what is the anode mud means? So here we have, I said, this means impurities also there along with the copper, some impurities like SiO2 is there. Okay, this SiO2 will not take place in the electrolysis process. That will what happens, since Cu plus is going, so that much amount will come into the bottom. That much, because SiO2 is also there along with the copper. that will precipitated out, that will form as a mud type. Near where? Near the anode, which is the wastage. That is called the anode mud. So from impure copper, whatever it is, the wastage is coming at the anode, that is called the anode mud. So now it is clear what is the anode mud means, what is the anode, what is the cathode. So in the examination asks, so where the pure copper can be deposited, okay, or chromium, manganese. So this type of metals can be done. This magnesium, even some magnesium also can be done, aluminum. So that's how it is. Now this, whatever the pure one we are having, this will be more than 99.9%, more than 99%. This will be used for the commercial purpose. So this one, whatever he is loading, this is the 99.99% it will be. So these are the steps, each and every steps I have explained with the animated videos. So you should not, because it is more important topic in the throughout this chapter. Questions are always asked from this one. What is roasting? What is the calcination? What is the unbalanced chemical reactions of that one? And what else you should know that one? That electrolytic refining. And another is thermit reaction. So what is that thermit reaction? That also we will see now. So whatever the points which I have given in this PPT, each and every concept is discussed here. Okay, if you are having the doubt, you can ask me. Now we will see the thermit process, and by that we can close this one. Okay, each and every step, what is gang? So all these are the topics only, points. So how you can extract the low activity series. So as we have seen already, HGS, for example, sulfide ore, mercury as available as a sulfide ore, roasting we do get the HGO. This HGO, you just heat it to get the Hg. That's it, mercury. Oxygen will come out. You no need to put the carbon here, not required. Similarly, copper, Cu2s, when reacting with the oxygen, what we get? So these two reactions you should remember. Cu2O, you are converting into the oxide ore. This is also roasting process. For the roasting, all these examples you can write. ZnS you can write plus O2, ZnO plus SO2, or HGS plus 3O2 and HGO plus SO2. Okay, all these are the balanced chemical reactions you practice. Unless until you write on the notes, okay, many times you cannot remember. Or Cu2s plus O2, you can converting into the Cu2O plus SO2, like this, copper oxide. All these are the examples for the roasting only. So whatever the oxides you got, so in the case of copper, it is different. Okay, in the Bessemerization, what we have done, this is only the Bessemerization. So in the Bessemerization, what we have done, Cu2O, you have reacted with the Cu2s, and you got the copper metal and sulfur dioxide. Sulfur, what is doing here? This copper combining copper, and sulfur and oxygen combining to give the copper dioxide. These are the special case reactions. These are some different from the regular reactions. So you have to remember all these type of reactions. So this is all about the extracting of metals low in the activity series. Now we will see the middle reactivity series. What is roasting? If it is the excess air you are doing, oxygen is there. That's how you get the metal oxide. What is the calcination? Where carbonate ores are converting into the oxide ores in the presence of limited supply of air. Okay, here oxygen is not there. So that's how that is decomposing to the carbon dioxide, zinc oxide. In both products, both processes, we are getting zinc oxide. If you react with the carbon, you get the zinc and carbon monoxide. So this will further can be taken to the electrolytic refining purpose. So thermit reaction we will see. So what is this thermit reaction means? This is also one of the important, very, very important reaction. Not only as like just now you have seen above. So not only by these methods, by doing some displacement reactions also, metals can be done. So what is displacement reactions? So displacement reactions, when more reactive element is displaces the less reactive element, is called the displacement reaction. And you are having the ore of Fe2O3. You are having the ore of Fe2O3. If you do the reaction with the aluminum, what aluminum will do? Aluminum will replace this iron, and you will get the Al2O3, which is how compound is forming. So that is the reason important of the compound formation. Aluminum and oxygen. The valency of aluminum is 3. Valency of oxygen is 2. These many numbers it should be. These many numbers it should be. So this is Al2O3. So this is what the chemical formula. Just by looking at that one, you can write Al2O3 plus Fe. You are getting pure iron, and lot of heat also will be generated. Okay, by taking the ore, this Fe2O3, you can are able to make the iron. So this is only the displacement reaction. So what is basically try to understand here? This process is used in the welding. So if railway track is there, okay, so that is made up of, okay, iron only, right? So these gaps are there. Welding can be used so to join the any two metals. Okay, if some happening to the any, for example, wheel is broken, so the to join that wheel, they do welding sort of things, right? So to join many elements, many metals, they do the some common process is the welding. So this is only the process of welding. This is only the process of welding. What is happening here? Here you are getting the iron. That too, lot of heat will be generated here. Due to lot of heat is generating, that much heat is generating here. Iron, you get it as a liquid form. Okay. So what they do, they take the stick of this Fe2O3, okay, ore of that Fe2O3 sticks they will take, and they will take aluminum also, both they will do the reaction. That's what actually happening there. And lot of heat will be generating, and iron you are getting into the liquid. So if you want to join the two tracks of this train tracks, so that will pour into as a liquid. Okay, because that can be fixed in proper places. If you put the iron block solid, so that the proper place you cannot fix it, that one gaps will be there always. So if you pour the liquids, what happens as a iron, so everything will be occupied. So after some time, after the that will become cool, that will become hard surface. So that's how this welding process can be used. This is the displacement reaction. So another also given in your textbook, which is the manganese. Manganese also given, that also you can practice. What happens manganese when react with the aluminum? Manganese, when you react with the manganese dioxide, when you react with the aluminum, what products will be formed here, Jobia? So aluminum is more reactive than the manganese. Jobia, can you tell what product can be formed here?
Sir, aluminium, Al2O3 and Mn.
Very good. So aluminum will replace this manganese. So this is also displacement reaction, but this reaction doesn't call the thermit reaction. Don't get confused. Okay, this is not the thermit reaction. This is just a displacement reaction where you are getting the pure manganese. So since you are talking about the pure metals, how to? So this is the one of the processes you can do by doing the displacement reactions. So what is the thermit reaction? This is only the thermit reaction, which is the very, very important in everyday life. We use it, right? So for the welding, they are producing the iron as a liquid form and they are filling. So that is the importance of this thermit reaction. So if you are having any doubt, you can ask me. Where it is used? Railway tracks to cracked machine parts. So in the machines we use like households. Machines are using that breaks is happen. So to join that one, if you take to the welding wherever they do, people can do the welding and they can join. So this is the reaction of thermit reaction. It is very, very important. Now, top activity series. So these are the middle activity series. So what with thermit reaction also is from the middle reactivity, right? Iron, manganese, whatever we have discussed, these are also mid reactive. That is the reason we have discussed it there only. So metal towards the top series, how we can do from the electrolysis process. In the initial of the class only we have discussed. For example, sodium chloride is there. Sodium chloride, that will give 2 ions, right? If you make it as a liquid, that gives Na plus and Cl minus. So that Na plus, if you pass the current, electrons will add to this one, sodium metal can obtain, and Cl minus. So this is the sodium metal you are getting. At anode, this reaction takes place anyhow, that you have studied in the even chloralkali process also. Cl minus, that loses the 2 electrons, that gets the chlorine gas. So that's how you get the sodium metal here. So reactivity. So for example, oxide is there, sodium oxide is there. So by doing the reduction, you cannot, because sodium is more reactive element, right? So carbon cannot replace this one. As like zinc case, what happens? Carbon can replace this zinc and you can get the zinc and carbon monoxide. But you cannot get sodium and carbon monoxide here. Because sodium is more reactive element, you cannot replace this one. So that is the reason what happens. You have to do by, you have to get this element by electrolytic process only, electrochemical process only. By passing the current only, you can break that one. So refining of metals, we have seen this process. What is electrolytic refining means? Many metals such as copper, zinc, tin, nickel, silver, gold, etc. are refined electrolytically. All these can be purified by electrolytic process. In this process, the impure metal is made the anode and the thin strip. There also thin strips can be taken. Thin strip of pure metal is made the cathode. Already, if you take already width 1, so there will not be space to occupy the other ions common. So that is the reason thin strips can be taken and that can be placed there. A solution of the metal used. So in the case of copper, which I have shown in the video, there copper sulfate we have taken, right? CuSO4. And impure one we have taken it as a anode, and pure one we have taken it as a cathode. Okay, in this video actually this one taken as a thicker one. Okay, actually we take thinner ones. Both, usually both we will take as a thinner one. So impure one you can take as a bigger one. By that many things will come and here it can be deposited. So this is how the process is. What is happening? At cathode is the negative one, anode is the positive one. Here from this impurity one, this is losing the electrons. It is connected to the positive, right? So electrons, since it is positive, electrons will move here. So since copper is losing the electrons, Cu2 plus will come into the solution. So again, the same number of copper from the solution that will go and that will deposit on the cathode. And electrons will come here from here, and this can get we get the copper metal. So this is what the complete detail of the electron and anode mud. This one also you should not forget. Which one? This one. Okay, because after coming into the Cu2 plus, some impurities also there, no, like silica, clay, all these type of impurities, what they will do, okay, they will settle down, which we don't want. That's how we are calling it as a anode mud. This is the anode mud. You can ask me if you are having any doubt. So this is all about this lesson we have completed now. Okay, now we will start the next lesson, which is what is our next lesson? What is our next lesson, Jobia?
Carbon and its
So we will go to the carbon and its compounds. Okay, if you are having any doubts, you can ask me. Okay, each and everything I have explained in simple language.